This episode is a part of our local elections channel, where we share clear, community-focused coverage of Grand Prairie elections. From candidate spotlights to issue explainers and voting resources, our mission is to keep you informed, connected, and confident at the ballot box. Well, welcome to the Faces of Grand Prairie.
Yes, thank you so much, Jenna, for having me on today. I'm so excited to be here, a new room, a new atmosphere, building a new relationship with you. I was just telling my husband in this season, I just want to be connected with new. And so thank you so much. I'm excited to be here as I'm getting ready to run this race,
Yes.
Justice of the Peace.
Yes.
Precinct 4, Place 2.
Tell everybody who you are and where we met.
Yes. So we actually met at the wonderful, phenomenal, groundbreaking the Lions Club of Grand Prairie here in the great city of Grand Prairie, and phenomenal people who have a heart to serve our community, make a difference in our young generation as well as our senior citizens. So I am so grateful to be a part of that organization. Feels like family. It feels like a second family. And we had the opportunity. You have such a vibrant spirit. Your energy is like on a 10. And I think even on your bad day, it's still a 10. And I don't even know you. And so,
yeah, we literally met it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And we just clicked. And even this opportunity, and it's so important to keep our community informed and up to date of things that are going on. So thank you for this platform. Thank you for what you're doing for the community and keeping us informed of what's going on in the great city of Grand Prairie.
I'm so glad that you're here, and it always makes me happy when people get it. Like when they see what I'm trying to do,
I get
and
it.
They're like, I know. And you said, I want to do that, and I said, great, because the local elections is a channel that is on Faces of Grand Prairie. And I've said for a long time, we need to start campaigning before 2 weeks before an election.
Right.
We need to be talking about some of these seats, especially the ones that we don't always know what they do or how they impact our lives. So when you said you're running for Justice of the Peace, I was like, this is a great opportunity for you to explain to people in Dallas County, which is where you're running, and other places too, just to understand what that position is. But so I'm so glad. And you have a media background, so
I do.
You just made it so easy for me to come.
Yes, I definitely do. I'm running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Place 2, which covers the areas of Carrollton, Grand Prairie, Irvin, Capel, DeSoto, Cedar Hill, parts of DeSoto and Cedar Hill. And so I am just grateful to have the opportunity to get to connect with the community. I love it here. I love how there's always activities every other week for family environment, something for everyone. They always include everyone, whether you're single, married, families, whatever it is, it's something here. But you said something very important. It's so important to keep our community up to date of elections. So many times we are so focused on the presidential elections and those up, but not knowing the bottom, the ones that are at the bottom of the ballot are the very powerful ones that you need to know about. Justice of the Peace. And we deal with evictions. We deal with small claims. We deal with truancy, marriage license. And a lot of people don't know that when they say marriage, oh, that's something fun part, but not knowing, the eviction levels. And that's something dear to my heart too, because someone said, what was your why? Why are you running out? And Jenna, I said, it's a whole new career change for me, with over 15, 20 years experience in education. I have a heart for our young generation. And then also being a retired journalist, working with the Gospel Music Channel, Philly's Favor, Syndicated, Texas Metro News. I wanted to do something totally different. And this was like 4 years ago. I told my husband, I want to run for Justice of the Peace. I want to be a judge. He's like, what? A judge? What do you want to be a judge? Wait a minute, bring that back. And I said, yes, I've been working with our judge at the school, and I said, I see how he has a passion for these children, and I still do. I said, I want something totally different than what I've done before. I think I have ran my course in education, and I've done my course in journalism. I want a whole new atmosphere where I can still bring make a difference and bring change, and say, what better way to bring justice? I have a heart for compassion. What do I stand on? Fairness, compassion, and justice. And so a lot of times people ask, do you have a law degree? Jenna, no, I do not.
That's an important question. So do you have to have one?
No.
Isn't that interesting?
And 85%, maybe less than that, do not have a law degree. If you Googled how many JP judges have law degrees, no. Actually, and I think they prefer you not to have one because you can become biased in the courtroom. Of course, I'm going to follow the law. We go through judge school. So they take you through 6 weeks of judge school where you're understanding the laws and of the courtroom. But this particular court, this is for the people. The people selected me in here. So this is the people's choice. This is the people's court. For an example, I can't stop evictions. I have to follow the rules, follow the law. However, as showing compassion as a compassionate judge, if someone is being evicted, and my constable goes out to serve them, I can send a list of resources that are available for that person, Sister Sue, who's getting ready to be, hey, Sister, Miss Sue, you are being evicted. I can't stop it, but I can send you a list of resources that are available for you before, and that can help you work out some of the problems that you're having. And so that's what I mean. It's important. And as a judge, for me, being able to sit in that seat, not to do my job in the seat, but also keeping our community informed, not waiting till campaign season to tell you the updates of what's going on. Yes, we know the SB 38 bill has just passed, about squatters and people living in, but why are we just now hearing about this? Why are we not hearing about quarterly seminars of what's going on? And so that is something that I want to take hold of differently. You're just not going to know me if you have to come in my courtroom, but you're going to know, who is this JP judge coming around here? And she's giving it, well, I may not need it, but I think I may know somebody who may need it on down the line. It may not be for you. You may not rent, you may own, but you may have a church person or a cousin who is facing some type of difficulty because people are being evicted for $150. Why? Because they lack of knowledge, not knowing that there are resources that are provided for them. Another thing that is near and dear to my heart is I love our youth. Working in education, I have a soft heart for our youth, and to sit in the courtroom and seeing it being slapped on the wrist with a big ticket, that's where I would bring my different affiliations and organization to be a part of, because it's tired of seeing mothers coming in the courtroom because their son is chasing the streets instead of the books. And so, hey, Mom, I'm not just going to give you this ticket. Well, we're going to hold some responsibilities because I don't want to see him back in my courtroom, you know? And so also making a stigma like, oh, I don't know who that judge was, but it leaves some type of impression like she does not play. She cares about my future and she wants me to do better. Get in school and get to learning. Your education is your future. And so I'm just a different type of a breed, and I have a compassion for it. I have a passion to work for our community, not only just doing the job in the seat, but also keeping community engagement with our communities in the areas that I will be serving. Not just showing up to different events, but providing different seminars, whether you come or not, but at least I put it out there and something like, oh, wow, she's trying. Even if you never step, I am trying, because I think it's important that we do know the world's right now.
Yeah.
And the people don't know. So it's up to us.
And locally.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I just did a video this morning about real estate because I'm a realtor. Okay. And it's like, you can watch a YouTube video about something going on in real estate, but that has nothing to do with what's going on here.
Right.
So it's like something like SB 38. It's like, how does that impact people in Dallas County, not just in Texas, because every area in Texas is very different. And so kind of a question for you about that. How do you find out about the updates? Like, do y'all get told, or are you having to keep up with all the things that are going on in state legislature? Because that's a
Right.
lot.
Right. So yes, I'm not in the seat yet. We're claiming, but as a judge, you get updates of what's going on in your courtroom. It's up to you to weave out what is important to share with the community and what they may need to know. Because sometimes saying too much may scare.
That's true. That is true. You do have to know.
So you got to know where to peel and where to share in that area. But for an example, with evictions, it's important to know the different, like Dallas advocacy. They provide different lawyers. A lot of people don't know that SMU provide free lawyers, attorneys to come and represent you. You're walking there, well, I don't have an attorney. Who's going to represent? And not knowing you have college students that can come in. And I've seen one cases, like I had a good friend who actually was served in the court. And she's like, it was tough, Dareia, but I won. It was very tough because they were fighting against me because the other person didn't show up, but her and her attorney showed up. She hired someone from SMU, had a barbecue restaurant, and the guy wouldn't pay her back her $40,000. He was supposed to build and restructure the building. He just took her money, and so she didn't have an attorney, and she hired a free attorney from SM. And see, people don't know that. Like, really? Why?
Right, no.
And so, as a judge, I can provide that information. Hey, I want to let you know before you come. You can hire you somebody to represent you, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, because the state legislature can get really confusing. Even as a real estate agent, we have stuff that's coming all the time, and it's like trying to keep people informed. And sometimes it doesn't matter until it matters.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, what do you talk about now, and how do you make that relevant for what may be a change later? But I don't recall ever getting a seminar or even seeing, maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but for justice of the peace specifically, I mean, it seems like that might be a very important thing to be doing. So, and your background in communications probably helps you with that a lot too.
Yes, yes, it does. Another part that plays a role, and I'm not 100% accurate, so don't quote me on this, mental health. It plays some part of role in JP. And so now these days, people with their mental health, it is, dealing with from financial crunch to different other responsibilities. Mental health can really play a role. And I don't want to tap too much on it because I don't want to say anything that I don't have accurate information, but I do know that ties in. And so that's something else I want to bring awareness in my courtroom as well.
So tell me, like, what does the day-to-day structure of a justice of the peace look like?
It just depends. Every day can be different. One day you can work on, you can do dealing with small claims. The next day you can deal with evictions. You can do from like 12 to 1 dealing with marrying people, the life of just marrying a couple. And seminar, ceremonies. The next day could be schedule. Because one thing I like about JP, you can set your own schedule.
Interesting.
Yeah, you set your own schedule.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So do you ever have a jury in a justice of the peace courtroom?
You can. Yes, you can. Yeah.
So, okay. So going back, you're not here yet?
Not here or there. Yeah.
And you ran before?
Okay. So yes, I have ran before. I ran 4 years ago, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but I prayed about it. This is something I prayed about, and I'm not a politician. I don't consider myself a politician. I am a person. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a sorority sister. I am a prayer warrior. And so when I ran for this, this was something I asked God for. And so I was very, very crushed, Jenna, when I lost. And I came very close. But in the midst of it, I gained a lot of friends in the justice system. As well as my husband and I, we had a baby. We don't know how we had a baby. I was like, where did this come from? Well, no, we just came out of nowhere because I'm like, how did this happen in the middle of campaigning season? but I didn't know anything about, how to knock on doors and how to reach different people, because my heart was really set on serving the community in a different way. I wanted a whole new career change. This was not just a job because I couldn't get my attorney license, I couldn't get past the bar or whatever. But this was something like I had a passion for, to really make a difference, to really make a change in our community on a different level. And so now I think my passion level is on a 10, because it's like I'm going hard, all the way. I can really just taste it, because I have a desire to really serve on a level to make a difference, not just on the bench, but as well as the more information that I get and I receive to share with our community.
So I think this is an important question.
Okay.
It can be very easy to quit when you don't get something that you want, especially something like an election. That is probably, to me, that would seem the most intimidating thing ever, is especially when you're walking into something that you really don't know. You're like, I don't know where to start. But then to lose, what made you want to do it again? Like, was there ever a time that you wanted to quit, but you just kept going anyways?
Oh, a lot of times, because even now, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I cried. I pulled over on the highway because I had a person who I considered a friend, who, and then all of a sudden I'm like, he's not supporting me. He's, supporting, my opponent. That's just me being transparent. And how do you deal with that? The people who you say that love you, who is there in your corner, is now, I'm like, did this person cry with you in the middle of the night when you were going through with your wife, or when you were going, and I'm your friend, And so you're just learning that politics is cutthroat. It's dirty. You're willing to expose somebody else's dirt just to collect some information. And so even just recently, just finding, people I've done stuff for. And then I'm like, really? Wow. But it's allowed me to go and roll up my sleeves and dig harder. Let's go, Dareia. I'm allowing this to be my motivation.
Because there's a huge swath of people that I guarantee didn't vote, that are registered voters. I'm super passionate about this too, because you see that in local elections, especially now. Well, I guess, let me ask you this: when do you vote on the justice of the peace?
Okay, so that it's not until next year of March the 3rd.
So it's in March.
Yes, because there's another election coming up in November. But there is, it's not until March. The early voting starts the last 2 weeks in February. But election day is March 3rd, 2026.
And you just don't have as much of a turnout in the spring as you do in November, because those are the bigger elections.
Yeah.
So, when you think about it, you're like, some of these people are winning with very small margin, like very small, groups of voters. So it gives me hope. Like, I think people can think it's apathetic, but I think sometimes it becomes very hard to know how to keep up with all the things you need to keep up with as a voter.
Right.
But it's also, if the person that's in a seat hasn't knocked on my door, that's a great opportunity for someone like yourself.
Right.
And I think focusing on those unknocked doors are really, really important for people.
Oh my gosh, Jenna, it is, because I've been knocking on doors, and a lot of people's like, I don't know who my JP judge, and I said, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be where, I come in your neighborhood and he's like, who's my JP? No, I want you to know who I am. I want you to know that I'm just not on the bench. And then if you do know who I am, I don't want you to know I just serve on the bench. Yeah, I know her, and she's pretty active in the community. She's pretty involved. I want to hear that, the people select us. And so many times as judges, I've been hearing this lately. I can't speak for everyone, but we can get there and we become like peacock proud. I think it should make us more humble, because the people allowed us to serve. And so with serving, how Jesus washed his disciples' feet, I think it's important that we continue to serve in humility and informing, because people put us in there. And people can, knocking on the right door can also remove you out. So I think the humility has to be there,
Yeah, and I think where a lot of people could maybe see the applicability would be marriage licenses. Yeah. It's like, I remember my justice of the peace, because you have to go get your license. So everybody has to do that. and there wasn't a whole lot of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know you do this all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but this is my first time to be married. So
Yeah.
I would love to, like, congratulations, maybe,
Yeah.
but it's like you can get in those positions and get real robotic.
Like, okay, get out next.
Yeah, exactly. And especially
let me take
as a
the
judge.
moment. Let me sink it in. Let me have, yes, I get it. Make it special.
Yes. And judges can also, unfortunately, I went through a divorce. And so that was my first time to ever be in a courtroom. Judges are very intimidating. It's very difficult for people sometimes to know, and it's scary time in their lives. And so I think everything you said about compassion is very important. It's like you still have to abide by the law. You still have to do what you have to go by what the judgment is and all those other things. But that doesn't mean you can't have a human side to it. And so,
and talk to the citizens, the residents, with respect. Just because I'm a judge doesn't make me better than you. I'm not going to talk to you like you just belittle or try. Hey, you need to no. I'm going to respect you. How are you doing today? What are you in here for today? Maybe even want to smile, but I'm still serious. This is my courtroom. This is where we're here for an investigation to take case and a case to see. But whatever the case may be, still show some even compassion in how you're handling your cases, your tone. And I don't want anybody to walk out my classroom. I don't want anyone to walk out of my courtroom to say, ugh, I don't ever want to step back in that court again. I'll file in the other courtroom before I ever walk back in. I don't want that. I want you like, yeah, she handled her business. I felt like justice was served.
So when you have to campaign in an area that large, because you named a lot of cities there, how do you even do that?
Jesus. First of all, prayer and one step at a time.
Really?
So I don't want to tell all my secrets because I never know who may be listening and know they say don't let your left hand know what your right hand. But I am working strategically this time and hopefully smarter. And so, that's how I'm working. Campaign is very dirty. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So just even I applaud anyone who decides to run for any elective
I agree
office.
100%.
Yeah. State representative, city council, whatever you decide, just making sure that you're not in it for power. You're not in it to be recognized. You're not in it because, I want to be this. I just want to hop in a race. No, I need a job. No, make sure that this is something you desire to do. You're just not showing up. Okay, next case. Come on, let's go. Come on. What was that? But you really do love what you're doing. You like what you're doing. And then because it'll show. It will show. And so I'm excited. I'm excited and looking forward to serving the community on that capacity.
So from one journalist, I'm actually a member of the press, whatever. So as one member to another, what did you do before? I'm so curious. What when you were in media?
Oh, really?
Before we started filming, you must have been in radio.
Yes.
That was very cute, by the way.
So I went to school for a degree in mass communication. So I have my degree in mass comm. I've always worked in journalism. I said, if I'm going to graduate in my degree in journalism, I want to make sure I'm working in it. So when I first graduated, I started working with Gospel Music Channel. I relocated to the Dallas area and worked for Heaven 97 KHVN, a gospel radio station. And then I also did some work with, and still do some, with Texas Metro News, Garland Journal. And then eventually I had the opportunity to be syndicated, to be heard in 5 different states, Philly's Favor 100.7 FM and some other states. And so, I've always...
Like as a radio host?
A radio host.
Wow.
Yeah. So, hey, it's Heaven 97 KHVN Fort Worth, Dallas, and I am Dareia Jacobs. We're on the local elections face of Grand Prairie Media Group here with Jenna. So excited to be with, something like that. And just being able to... That
was impressive.
Thank you. And being able to hear the listeners and what they have to say. Oh, I just saw a cat on the highway. Did you really? Oh my goodness. And so it was a gospel side, but I love it because I was always, one one thing about working the radio, we're always in the community, connecting, hearing what the community had to say about something they were concerned about, mad about, happy about. And so that was the fun part about it. And so
that's actually very interesting because you were used to hearing some of the stories that kind of
mhm.
seemed a little,
Yeah.
probably seemed a little out there.
Yeah.
But being able to get that
Right.
background is different. A lot of people don't have that to
Yeah.
sit there and be in that position to do that.
And then have that type of personality.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I even have the personality for a JP judge because, you know, you have to be connected with your community, your constituents. And I've been in that place too. I've been in that seat before. I know how it is to be evicted. I know how it is. I've been almost been there. Okay, let me just say that. And so dealing with the youth, working in education, you have to say I've been there. I'm touchable. Hey, I've been where you're sitting, but you're going to still have to follow these rules. Okay. You're going to have to follow these guidelines. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that that's very interesting is to connect the resources because, you know, locally, like if you know who is, you know, in charge of the Grand Prairie Homeless, you know, outreach organization or Grand Prairie United Charities, if that person is in Grand Prairie, then being able to connect in these civic organizations, which is why I think it's great that you're in the Lions Club, because those are the things that you really, sounds like you really need to be able to have those connections.
And that's just one of the organization I am. I attend the Rotary Club. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Is that the pink and green?
No. Oh my gosh. Ew. No, I'm sorry. I love you, AKAs. But clearly, Delta Sigma Theta, we're the red and white.
The red and white. Okay.
Yeah,
we got on a plane one time. My daughter and I were going to Disney World, and they were having a huge sorority thing. And everybody on the plane literally was in red and green. Everything. Pink and green. I mean, pink and green. Yeah.
Wow.
And we were like, this looks fun. What's going on over here? So.
I love it. I love it. So even outside of that, I am an author. I speak and do motivational and speak as well. And so, as well as, did I say I was a part of the Lions Club even in DeSoto area as well?
Good. So are you attending a lot of these things every week?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And on top of being a mother, being a first lady, being a wife, and having a barbecue restaurant with my husband. So
very cool.
Yeah. So doing that, it's a stretch. And so that's why I'm saying I'm pasting myself in the midst of it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Well,
where can people find you if they want to learn more about your platform and everything?
You can definitely go to votedareiajacobs.com. That is vote Dareia, Dareia.
And I'll put that up on the screen whenever
Jacobs.com. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your concerns for the community. You may have nothing to do with a JP court. It doesn't, but maybe you have a concern that you would like to voice. And so maybe you have an organization you would like me to come and visit, and just seeing how we can work together and bridging the gap to making our community a better place. I would love to hear from you. I'm excited for the city. I'm excited to be more a part of the different things that are going on. So our election again is March the 3rd of 2026. Early voting starts in February. Dareia Jacobs. It's at the bottom. I promise you, it'll probably be at the bottom of, and please don't skip over it. Vote all the way down, because a lot of people, you know, and I'm guilty of this because I've done this. I'll just go in and vote for the person I want to go and then go. I'm done, submit, instead of voting all the way through. And we get bored, we get tired. We're like, I don't know who this is. I'm just going to hit the first one. Do your research. You know, I know at the polling, there's a lot of people that stands out and handing out their literature, but actually do your research. Actually do see if your judges who have been sitting there, have they made justice? You know,
where can you go to find that kind of information?
You can call your Dallas County Elections Office and get that information too, depending, and this is another thing why I say I'm not a politician, because if it was up to me, I'm running in a Democrat seat, so I am a Democrat. I'm not into Democrat, Republicans, all that, because at the end of the day, I have to serve both parties.
Sure.
I have to serve both parties. And so, but I love my blue, however, I have to serve both parties. And I hate that mention that. Mute, 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 mute. So I hope I didn't offend anyone, but I'm just saying everyone I have to serve. So it's no party when you come in the courtroom.
It doesn't make sense to me anyway
Yeah.
why they force judgeships
Yeah.
into partisan
I
elections. I
know.
mean, there's nothing we can do about it, and no one
Yeah.
ever has a good reason for why that
And
happens.
even if you do independent or you go independent, it's not going to help because
it does, yeah.
yeah. So you have to like go with the party.
Yeah,
And
it's you have to.
Yeah,
You don't have a
yeah,
choice,
right.
and there's really not a whole lot in the actual seat that has anything to do with
Right.
any of that, anyways. But it just
And
is what it is.
and I'm not really, and that's the thing. I'm not into. I care about serving. I care about making a difference and what we can do, even in a corrupted world right now, and everything that's going on up top. What can I do in the areas of Grand Prairie,
Mm-hmm.
Cedar Hill, DeSoto, Irving, Capel, Carrollton to make a difference as a
Yeah.
JP judge?
Absolutely. Well, good. Well, I will put all of that information in the
Thank
post and in
you.
the video. And it's just a pleasure for you to come on today.
Gosh, thank you so much. And I hope I can come back again.
Absolutely.
This was amazing.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed myself. Jenna. When I think of Jenna, I think about Forrest Gump. But what was her name?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yes.
But Jenna.
Don't even think that was not something people said to me when that came out.
Really?
All the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So it was always. And is your name Jennifer? Nope, it's just Jenna.
Jenna.
So
I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank
and
you.
this was lovely.
Good.